what story comes into your mind when you hear somebody was given tremendous grace and somebody was not happy about the grace that was shown to him? What comes into your mind? What story comes into your mind? Huh?
Prodigal son.
Brother, you've been studying theology, so it's easy for you. You too? He was given tremendous grace, right? But somebody was not happy about it. So the context is found in Luke 15, and it's a story of the lost coin, lost sheep, lost coin, and the lost son. And I'd like to just tell you a story, a brief story, what we can glean. We are focusing on the garment, but we would like to just get some points. Try to understand some points. All right, can we do that? All right. You know the story. There were two sons. All right, there were two sons. Okay, the father. There was no mother mentioned there. There was the father. The mother was not mentioned. But remember,
In the Bible, it doesn't.
no, it's just that it's not probably needed. It was not necessary for our salvation. Remember, the kingdom of heaven is likened to this parable of the lost. You're very familiar. Two sons. One went to Vegas.
Nice.
Just ask his dad, Dad, I need my money. I need my money. I need my money. I need my inheritance. The father was very hesitant at first, and then he gave the money. He gave the inheritance. And there's a sort of brevity here that the money was just spent so fast. When you're in Vegas, you spend so much money, right? So the son, the name, he was not mentioned in any. There was no mention. There was no name. Okay, we'll just call him probably. How do we call the prodigal son? What's the best name for him? Not David. Whatever it is, the prodigal son went to Vegas, and there's a sort of brevity for how he spent money. It just went quickly. The money just flew, and then we don't know about the other brother, but the other brother obviously stayed at home. So he was obviously you can tell. Oh, he's a good guy, obedient to his dad. He stayed at home. He was working so hard in the farm or in the vineyard, whatever you can call it. Now the prodigal son. Okay, he came to a realization one day that he lost his friends. He has no more money, and he was doing the most menial job in the Jewish economy. And what was it? He was feeding the pigs. And he came to an epiphany. You know what's an epiphany, right? You came to a realization. Oh, I'm living in squalor. Dirty. Well, my father's servants live better than me. Wow. I said, here's what I will do. Yeah, he was thinking. Okay, first, I had a good idea. I'll go back to my father. Isn't that true when we are almost at the end of the road? We always think of going back home. I think they will. But and he thought of that first. I will go back to my father. And then there's a second thought. Oh, I cannot just go back there. I squander the money. Oh, here's what I'll do. I'll tell my dad. Dad, I sinned against heaven and against earth. I'm not worthy to be called your son. Let me come in as a hired servant. So that's the two. So he will go back. And then the second thought that he had is, make me as a hired servant. It's another story. And then the story continues. The prodigal son went back. And then, I like how David Asher, familiar with David Asher? How he said it. It's very funny, We all have a gate. And the father was watching from afar. It just happened that the father was watching. We all have a gate. Everybody has his way of walking. Some walk fast. Some walk slow. Some walk differently than the others. And the father sees this dirty, you know how it is, dirty, unkempt, not clean, not shaven probably. This guy, and afar off, he's like, that's my son. And then the Bible says, this is uncommon. The father run to meet his boy. Run to meet his boy. And then when he runs, what did the father do? Or what did the father did? Huh?
He ran.
After he running, what did he do? Yeah. But before that, he hugged him, and then once he was hugging the son, that's right. He gave him a purple, not a purple, a best clothes, the best robe, and a ring and a sandal. But before that, he hugged him, and the son was mentioned. Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. He was unable to say, make me as your hired servant. The father immediately grabbed him and told the servants, shouted at the servants, hey, give him the best robes, give him the ring, and give him the sandal. Those are symbols, by the way, of righteousness. What else? The robe. Huh? The ring. What does the ring symbolize? Authority. He was given back his position. Yeah, he is the son. And then what's the sandal? Meaning to say he can. This is your place, man. You can walk. You can walk anywhere you want. And he was not able. That's the point of the story. He was not able to, what do you call this? To tell the father that he will be a hired servant. He will come as a hired servant. Not in you see, the prodigal son wanted to come in his own terms. He wanted to come in his own terms. Now remember, the story of the prodigal son tells us about the kingdom of heaven. It's likened unto the kingdom of heaven. All right. Now there was a party. There was a party in Luke 15. We are now in Luke 15. There was a party. Okay. Now what happens when there's a party? Everybody is glad. Everybody's happy. You know. Probably there are food,
Plenty of food.
dancing, and what else? What else did they have there? Music. So the party was going on. So this is the party, and it's in the honor of who? Who's the honorary of the party? The prodigal son. And then the older son came probably. He came from work. So hard, sweaty. He heard the sound. It seems like a party. My birthday's not here for. It's not for 6 months. And then when he called the servant, when the servant came to tell him, hey, your brother was lost, came back. The prodigal son. What is the normal, the usual response when a lost brother comes back home? What's your response? What's your normal response when a prodigal son or brother or a rebellious son or a brother comes home? What's the regular? What's supposed to be the response or the reaction? Huh?
What's supposed to, or what is the response?
Well, what's the response? What's supposed to be the response?
You should be happy.
Should be happy, very. But in our story in Luke 15, what was the reaction of the older brother?
He was angry.
He was angry. Well, somehow we can probably resonate with that. We can resonate with that, right? You have been staying in your. You can imagine if you're in that situation. You're staying with the father. You have been very obedient. You have worked so hard, and your dad did not even kill a goat for you, but for the prodigal son, he killed the best cow, the fatted cow, right? And so this son, pathetic as he is, he was so angry that the father was showing him tremendous grace. And so he said, and look, go with me in Luke 15 if you're there. It's. I'd like to read how the father and the older brother talk to each other. Luke 15, it's there. It's very familiar. All right, the